So we'll go ahead and make those breaker islands. And I'll use that same foundation, this one right here. I'm going to place it down like this. And then I'm going to go in the catalog. I'm going to choose rock. I'm going to choose these rocks right here. And you want to make sure that this is up one layer. So I'll have this be on layer 1, and I'll have this be on layer 0. And then I'm going to go ahead and place multiple underneath it. And what we're going to create is the rock formation in which these breakers are built upon. Think of it like when you go to the coast and there's a jetty, and that jetty is made of all these stacked rocks. It's the same concept. These jetty-like formations are wave breakers. They're going to help to make sure that the waves don't kind of consume the city during a storm. So this is that first island. You notice those rocks. Now we can take a rock and put it up one layer. Let's put it up to layer 2. And then the way that you'll make this blend in better is put some rocks in front like this. And you'll notice that they blend in a little bit better, right? There's rocks underneath and rocks on top. And now it doesn't look like there's that straight line work underneath. And then the final step is let's create some rocks underwater to show that these are a little bit shallower. So we'll go to like -2. We'll change the blend mode to luminosity. And then I'll probably bring the contrast down a little bit. And now that the contrast is down and that's down, I can go ahead and place some more rocks like this. And then I'm going to just place them so where they're kind of sticking out a little bit. And then here's my first island with some rocks underwater, above the water. And then I'm going to go ahead and place a statue there. And I want to choose my first statue, which is the warrior. So I'll just type in statue like this. And I'm going to look for my warrior statue. If they have a fancy kind of helmet, here they are right here. Perfect. I'm going to take it up a layer to +2. And I'm going to place them on top of the island. And this is the first deity called the warrior. And the warrior is one of the gods that this ancient city kind of worships. So we'll put that there. And then also, we'll maybe add in some pillars to kind of frame the statue. So I'll put some pillars here and a pillar right here. And now I have this general formation kind of set up. And now I can just do the same thing to the other 3 islands, right? That same concept. I'm going to make them about 3 tiles apart from each other, like this. I want to make sure that there's enough room for ships to get through. So maybe put one here and another one right here. Again, I want to make sure there's enough room for ships to get through, but they're also close enough to each other that they will break some of the waves as they come encroaching upon the city, right? So first, we have that set up. Now we can do the same thing we did before, right? Let's go ahead and make sure that all our layers are correct. Layer 1. Let's go ahead and take a rock formation and bring it down below. And, oh, it's set to luminosity, my mistake. Normal. And I'll go ahead and just kind of place a little formation. And I'm going to do each one individually instead of... oopsie, I noticed the contrast is off as well, my mistake. Contrast, there we go. Put that back there. You'll notice that I'm not just copying and pasting this Stormbreaker island and just placing it over here. And there's a reason why. It's because it's going to look more natural and different and more unique when you do the rock formations different for each island. Otherwise, it just looks like you just copied and pasted. This is one of those instances where I don't do a lot of copying and pasting. I'll do the rock formations individually. It takes a little bit more time, but it does pay off. I'm just saying. So I'll just make sure that I have that contrast back up. I'm going to go up to layer 2. Remember, we're going to do that trick where we hide some of the line work at the bottom here. That works out great. And then we'll do that last step. Put them at layer -2. And then do that contrast and luminosity blend mode. There we go. And it looks completely different. And the next deity is called the Widow. And so we'll go ahead and add that one in there. Let's see, I think it's this one right here. Perfect. We'll scale it down a little bit. Layer +2. And I'm going to place it right in the middle there for our next deity. And I'll just copy and paste these pillars. Copy and paste. And voila, the next island is done. And then we'll do that last island. So here we go again. Take those rocks. We'll go down to layer negative 1. I'm going to make sure that I have the right blend mode on and everything. This is where I generally should be favoriting these settings, but I'm not. Okay, there we go. Last island. Let's add a little point where it kind of juts out there. Maybe put one that juts out a little bit more there. And then maybe it juts out a little bit right here as well, making it more difficult for ships to kind of navigate. We'll go back up to negative +2, and then kind of take care of those corners. There we go. Back down another layer, -2. Bring the contrast down, and we'll change the blend mode to luminosity. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and place those. Ooh, because that juts out right there, I should probably put some there. Some there, right here, and there. There we go. Okay. So you have these nice rock formations, and let's add the last god, which is going to be the scholar. So it's the warrior, the widow, and the scholar. And it's one of these guys right here. I think it is right here. Let me make sure I get the kind of scale right. So I'm just base it off of the same size as this one. Place this right on top. It needs to be on layer +2. There we go. And then that last pillar right here. Copy, paste. There we go. Oopsie. This might have to go up one more layer. Okay. So now you have the Stormbreakers. These are again the islands that are going to like keep the ship, keep the it safe. So I'll kind of name each one. Create group, and I'm going to call this the warrior. Create. We'll do the next one. Create group, the widow. Create, and then the scholar. Create group. Okay.